Chapter 1. Your Unique Value, the 5 Things Only You Can Do. Ana Diaz realized the full scope of her unique managerial value during a conversation with her own manager about Elena's weekend work situation. "Why didn't Elena just ask someone for help?" her manager asked. "Your team has experienced people who could have supported her." Ana paused, considering the question. The answer revealed something important about her role that she'd never fully understood. Elena couldn't ask Bobby for help because she didn't know what he was working on or whether he had capacity. She couldn't ask Jordan for technical support because she wasn't sure if her questions would seem basic. She couldn't ask David for client context because she didn't know if that information was confidential. She couldn't ask Priya for presentation guidance because they'd never established that kind of cross-team collaboration. She couldn't ask Sarah for project management insights because they worked on different types of analyses. Elena couldn't ask for help, Ana finally said, because I never created the systems, relationships, or authority that would make it possible for her to get help. The conversation crystallized something important. There were certain things that only she, as the manager, could do. Elena couldn't manage her relationship with anonymely. Ana could do that. Bobby couldn't create team communication protocols only. Ana had the authority to establish systems across the entire team. David couldn't remove organizational barriers that limited the team's effectiveness only. Ana had the cross-departmental visibility and influence to clear those obstacles. Her role wasn't to be the smartest person in the room or to make all the decisions. Her role was to create the conditions, systems, and relationships that enabled her team members to do their best work collaboratively and autonomously. Consider whether your role too is about creating conditions rather than having all the answers. Remote teams require different management, not more management. In remote environments, these essential management functions don't disappear. They require intentional system design. Many managers discover this the hard way. The approaches that made them successful in office settings can actually undermine team performance when applied remotely. What looks like a management problem is often a system design problem. Remote teams need different infrastructure for communication, collaboration, and connection, not just digital versions of office-based approaches. The difference isn't the amount of management, it's the sophistication and intentionality of management approaches. Ana experienced this directly. Her team had the same talent, tools, and goals they'd had in the office. But without the informal systems that physical proximity provided, Elena struggled in isolation. Jordan's frustrations festered without outlets, and team collaboration defaulted to hub-and-spoke communication through Ana herself. The solution wasn't more meetings or monitoring. It was recognizing that certain responsibility, creating relationship infrastructure, designing team communication systems, removing barriers, opening development opportunities, and balancing workloads, could only be fulfilled by someone with managerial authority and cross-team visibility. Time allocation transformation. Ana's time allocation shifted dramatically as she mastered the 5 responsibilities. You might find your own allocation needs similar adjustment. Before, traditional management. 40% administrative tasks and coordination. 25% project status monitoring. 20% problem solving and firefighting. 10% individual relationship building. 5% strategic planning and development. After, remote leadership. 25% individual relationship building and development. 25% team system design and facilitation. 20% barrier removal and strategic context sharing. 15% proactive capacity management and sustainability. 15% administrative coordination, streamlined through better systems. This shift aligns with research showing that managers currently spend nearly 40% of their time on administrative tasks, with only 13% spent developing their people. Deloitte 2025A. Yet 70% of team engagement is attributable to the manager, Gallup 2025, making effective people leadership the highest leverage activity managers can pursue. The 5 responsibilities only you can do. This book focuses on 5 core responsibilities that are uniquely yours as a manager. These aren't just things you should do, they're things that cannot happen effectively without your specific authority, visibility, and organizational position. Each responsibility requires specific skills to execute well, which is why the following chapters show you exactly how to master each one. Responsibility number 1: build real connections. What only you can do. create the foundation for trust and communication with each team member through consistent, active individual relationship building that goes beyond task coordination to genuine professional connection. Your team members cannot manage their relationship with you, only you can design and maintain that relationship infrastructure. Without your intentional effort, manager-employee relationships default to transactional task exchanges that lack the trust necessary for honest communication, proactive problem-solving, and sustainable performance. What this looks like in practice: Anna discovered this with Elena's weekend work situation. Elena had been struggling for weeks but didn't feel comfortable sharing her challenges because Anna had never created the relationship infrastructure that would make such conversations natural. After Anna redesigned her one-on-ones to prioritize the person first and project second, Elena began proactively sharing challenges, asking for help, and bringing forward creative ideas she previously would have kept to herself. Why individual contributors can't do this: team members can be friendly and professional with their manager, but they cannot design the communication frequency, conversation structure, feedback approaches, and trust-building strategies that create strong working relationships. These require managerial authority to establish and maintain. Common failures: treating individual relationships as nice to have rather than essential infrastructure. Focusing one-on-ones solely on project updates. Assuming silence means everything is fine. Using the same communication approach with everyone regardless of individual preferences. Success indicators: team members proactively share challenges and concerns. Trust levels increase over time. People feel comfortable disagreeing or questioning decisions. Voluntary communication frequency increases. Chapter 2 shows you exactly how to build real connections through 5 essential manager behaviors. Responsibility number 2: make teamwork normal. What only you can do: design team communication systems, meeting structures, collaboration processes, and shared problem-solving approaches that facilitate natural peer connections and knowledge sharing across the entire team. Individual team members can build relationships with specific colleagues, but only you have the authority and perspective to create systems that enable peer relationships, collaborative problem-solving, and knowledge sharing across the entire team. Without deliberate design, remote teams default to hub-and-spoke communication through the manager. What this looks like in practice: Anna realized this during Jordan's client call mishap. The team had no system for sharing concerns constructively, so Jordan's valid technical insights came out as private frustration that accidentally became public criticism. After Anna facilitated the team in designing communication protocols, collaborative problem-solving approaches, and peer support systems, similar client challenges were handled seamlessly through coordinated team responses that leveraged everyone's expertise. Why individual contributors can't do this: team members can collaborate well with specific colleagues, but they cannot create communication protocols that span the entire team, establish shared problem-solving processes, or design information transparency systems. These require managerial authority to implement and maintain consistently. Common failures: assuming psychological safety exists just because you tell people to speak up. Creating communication chaos without clear channel purposes. Becoming the central hub for all team interaction instead of facilitating peer-to-peer collaboration. Success indicators: team members communicate directly with each other without manager mediation. Collaborative problem-solving increases. Peer support and knowledge sharing happen naturally. Team resilience and adaptability improve. Chapter 3 shows you exactly how to make teamwork normal through 5 essential team systems. Responsibility number 3: focus on results. What only you can do: transform performance management from activity monitoring to outcome enablement by clarifying meaningful business outcomes, providing strategic context for autonomous decision-making, and deliberately removing organizational barriers that prevent results achievement. Individual contributors cannot shift organizational focus from presence monitoring to results achievement, access strategic context needed for good decisions, or remove systemic obstacles. They also lack the cross-departmental visibility and influence needed to make autonomous decisions that align with broader organizational goals. What this looks like in practice: Anna experienced this when Bobby mentioned his 2-week delay on a machine learning model that could have been resolved in 2 days with proper stakeholder access. Bobby couldn't arrange direct access to the client's data science team or change approval processes only. Anna had the authority to remove those barriers. After Anna shifted from asking "How are things going" to "What obstacles can I remove for you?" she began purposefully identifying and eliminating barriers that were limiting team effectiveness. Why individual contributors can't do this. Team members can identify barriers and suggest solutions, but they cannot remove organizational obstacles, change processes across departments, access resources beyond their authority level, or modify strategic priorities. These require managerial influence and decision-making power. Common failures. Monitoring activities instead of enabling outcomes. Teaching team members to work around barriers instead of removing the barriers. Not providing sufficient context for autonomous decision-making. Creating goals that focus on tasks rather than business impact. Success indicators. Team members make effective autonomous decisions. Barrier-related delays decrease significantly. Performance conversations focus on outcomes rather than activities. Business impact and value creation increase. Chapter 4 shows you exactly how to focus on results through 5 essential performance systems. Responsibility number 4, enable growth. What only you can do. Scan for development opportunities across the organization, advocate for team members, advancement, create growth experiences that align with both individual aspirations and business needs, and provide upward visibility that individual contributors cannot access independently. Team members have limited visibility into organizational opportunities, restricted access to senior leadership, and minimal influence over role creation, project assignment, or advancement decisions. They cannot advocate for themselves as effectively as a manager can advocate for them. What this looks like in practice. Anna discovered this when she overheard Dataflow's VP of Sales mentioning the need for someone technical who could speak to clients about AI capabilities, and immediately thought of Bobby but realized she'd never actually talked to him about career aspirations. After Anna began scanning for opportunities and having career development conversations, she was able to connect Bobby with client education opportunities, help Elena advance to senior analyst responsibilities, and support each team member's growth in ways that aligned with both their goals and organizational needs. Why individual contributors can't do this. Team members can pursue development opportunities they are aware of, but they cannot scan across the organization for possibilities they don't know exist, advocate effectively with senior leadership, or create new roles and opportunities. These require managerial networks, influence, and authority. Common failures. Waiting for team members to ask for development instead of proactively creating opportunities. Focusing only on technical skill development without building leadership and communication capabilities. Not advocating actively for team members' advancement. Success indicators. Team members receive development opportunities aligned with their career interests. Advancement rates increase. Retention improves. Team capabilities grow over time. Chapter 5 shows you exactly how to enable growth through 5 essential development systems. Responsibility number 5, sustain excellence. What only you can do. Monitor capacity across the entire team, redistribute work based on individual capacity and development opportunities, protect team boundaries from unrealistic demands, and ensure that high performance is sustainable over time, rather than achieved through unsustainable effort. Individual contributors cannot see the full team workload picture, redistribute tasks across colleagues, or make systemic changes to work distribution. They also cannot protect team boundaries with external stakeholders or modify organizational expectations about capacity and timelines. What this looks like in practice. Anna realized this when Sarah mentioned working until 9 p.m. every night for 2 weeks, while assuming everyone else seems to manage their workload fine. Sarah couldn't see that Elena was handling all the small requests, Jordan was dealing with constant technical interruptions, and David was attending too many client meetings. Only Anna had visibility across the entire team's capacity and the authority to redistribute work, set boundaries with clients, and implement systems that prevented overload before it became unsustainable. Why individual contributors can't do this. Team members can manage their own workload and request help, but they cannot redistribute work across the team, see capacity patterns across multiple people, or protect team boundaries with external stakeholders. These require managerial authority and comprehensive visibility. Common failures. Assuming that meeting deadlines means workload is sustainable. Always giving additional work to the most willing team members. Not monitoring capacity proactively. Treating stress and recovery as individual rather than team system issues. Success indicators. Workload is distributed equitably across team members. Sustainable performance is maintained over time. Stress levels remain manageable. Team members report feeling supported and managing their capacity. Chapter 6 shows you exactly how to sustain excellence through 5 essential workload systems. Your transformation journey. Anna's story demonstrates what's possible when managers embrace their unique value and develop the skills to deliver that value excellently. The transformation didn't happen overnight, but the impact was dramatic. Individual level. Team members felt valued, developed, and empowered to do their best work. Team level collaboration became natural. Problems were solved quickly and innovation increased. Organizational level. Client satisfaction improved, retention increased, and the team became a model for remote excellence. Your journey toward the same transformation begins with understanding that your value as a manager isn't in being the smartest person or making all the decisions. Your value is in creating the conditions, systems, and relationships that enable other people to excel collaboratively and autonomously. Your team is waiting for you to become the manager they need. Anna's journey shows this transformation is both possible and systematic. The next 5 chapters will show you exactly how to master each responsibility, starting with the most fundamental skill, building genuine connections with each team member.